Morning, noon, or night, the best protein timing for weight loss and metabolism. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, the Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 112 pounds the last 2 years, 9 months, and have kept it off and continue to lose, taking GLP-1s, in addition to working on completely changing my life with lifting and also eating properly. And so this video, I'm really excited, and you're gonna walk away with learning all about protein timing. And does it matter? Does it matter if you protein stack earlier in the day or later in the day or near your workouts, and how that's going to affect your weight loss journey, or if you're in maintenance, if you're on ZEPBOUND maintenance or WEGOVY maintenance. We're gonna go through all of it. I'm gonna do it. Get ready with me. I'll link all my products in the description link. So I came across this question from a viewer who was asking about, when should I do my protein? And someone else in my free encouragement group at countessofshopping.com/group was talking about how they protein stack. And it was Yo. And Yo, I love you, girl. She is amazing and has always had such insightful thoughts, and was talking about how she protein stacks earlier in the day. And I thought, gosh, that is such interesting concept that I hadn't really thought about. What does the science say? So I have, and I'll list down below, a scientific article, so you can always check my references. I demand and require that I'm scientifically accurate and factually accurate. This study, there's 2 studies that I'm going to cite in my source. The source talks in particular about like timing in terms of anabolic window related to working out. So if you are lifting or working out, how should you then frame your protein around it? And you guys know I'm always looking for ways to be better, faster, stronger. I'm actively weight training. Look at that muscle going there. And going from morbidly obese, weighing over 300 pounds, to now like lifting, it's a part of my daily routine now, and really making it a part of a lifestyle change for me. I wanted to know what this anabolic window was all about. And so basically what the deal with the anabolic window is, it's 30 to 60, so stay with me. This is the interesting part. There's a 30 to 60 minute window of this anabolic post-workout period, and it's supposed to be the best time for protein, specifically for muscle growth, of using the protein when you're lifting to help with muscle growth. And I thought, gosh, okay, but that's super specific. Like, getting my workouts in, I don't know about you guys, but like, that seems tough. I'm like, okay, let me go chat on some chicken breast. You know what I mean? Like, it seems unrealistically difficult. But I know bodybuilders and stuff like that, they figure this out. So we're smarter than the average bear here at Countess of Shopping. We can figure this out. But the optimal window, if the optimal window even exists, and this, what I'm referencing also is from verywellhealth.com. I'll also link that down below with the scientific studies. Going through, and it's saying you can actually, there was a study done in the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition that said you could actually stretch this window out, if the optimal window exists, to 4 to 6 hours before or after exercise. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So for example, if you work out at noon, you could have your protein 4 to 6 hours in advance, so like 6 a.m. to like 6 p.m. basically. There's not this all or none switch that you can do. I think partially what this data is telling us, as well, is getting the protein in is the biggest part. And when you do that, how can you best make that optimal for you? So one of the most important things to reference when we're talking about protein is amino acids. And so within amino acids, what they are in terms of protein is help to repair and build the muscle. And so, right, with ZEPBOUND weight loss or WEGOVY weight loss or any GLP-1 weight loss or any weight loss in general, not just necessarily with GLP-1 weight loss in general, is there's muscle mass loss that happens and occurs. And so combating that, right, if you are 300, like I was over 300 pounds when I started my weight loss journey, being over 300 pounds and then getting rid of that, I'm not carrying that around. So of course that's going to impact my muscles, right? And when you start thinking about it in that sense, it's like, oh, that makes sense about muscle mass loss. Why we need to focus in on building it back, also to help with our bones, because the ultimate goal is to help provide, not the ultimate goal, but for me, one of the things is to have really, really strong bones. So I need to support my bone density by building muscles around them. And it's not too late. I know we have so many viewers who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. We even have 80-year-old viewers. I'm waiting for my 90-year-old viewer to show up, so tell me in the comments if that's you. The bigger question throughout the day is not necessarily, when do I need to be doing this? Although I do think that that matters. It's how much. How much should I be having in order to make sure I'm best focusing in on that muscle repair and building muscle. And so that, I think, is the more optimal question. So for me, when I went to my dietitian, I used Join Fridays, their dietitian, and she told me I needed 105 grams to 135 or 140, something like that off the top of my head. There is, and I'll link down the article, so if you want to figure out your specific grams that you're supposed to have of protein per day. It is more for us though on GLP-1 weight loss because if you're actively in weight loss. Obviously, none of this is medical advice. Talk to your own healthcare provider or your own dietitian. Talk to somebody who's a specialist in this. But if you just want like a quick, like, let me go check a website and see what the approximate range is, I'll put that down in the comments below as well to help figure it out. Because for me, it's helpful to know, like, okay, here's my calories, which you can find on countessofshopping.com, a calorie calculator. And for me, that very much has changed. And my protein grams, as they continue to evolve with me lifting, has also changed so much as well. One of the best things that I've done in terms of building muscle is taking magnesium that has 7 types of magnesium in it. It's BIOptimizers Magnesium Breakthrough. Because it has 7 types of magnesium in it, for example, magnesium citrate, it is known to be really well absorbed type of magnesium. It's one of the 7 that's in BIOptimizers. It's really well known to be well absorbed, but also to specifically help with muscle function and also to help with muscle cramping too, which after lifting a ton, I'm like, yes, please. Also with my GLP-1 weight loss journey, I would get really, really bad leg cramps. So being able to have that as one of the types of magnesium, super, super helpful. Magnesium orotate, it has in there to help in terms of energy production, and it supports athletes as well with athletic performance, but cellular repair, right? And if we're lifting and we're breaking apart the muscles and having them repair back together, that's my non-scientific way of saying that, with lifting, then that is another important function on it as well. In addition, magnesium taurate that's also in there, it has to help with cardiovascular health, and it helps in terms of transporting nutrients and oxygen for recovering muscles. So you can use the discount code QUEEN at bioptimizers.com/queen, QUEEN. There are others, but I wanted to kind of talk about that too, about how important that is when we're lifting to really support the systems and functions in which we are lifting with and what we're taking to help us. And BIOptimizers Magnesium Breakthrough, for sure, with my GLP-1 weight loss journey, it helps with sleep. This is where the 7 types of magnesium, I'm not going to take 7 different types of magnesium pills. Having it all in one, 2 before bedtime, has helped with my sleep, helped with muscle recovery, helped with my attitude, but also helped with constipation. I'm not constipated. I am not constipated taking BIOptimizers Magnesium Breakthrough. So I will link that down in the description link below, or you can go directly to bioptimizers.com/queen to go ahead and get yours, and make sure they have bundle sets too. I would get those because you can save more on top, and you can stack my code on top of those for additional savings as well. So really one of the things from that 2008 study was basically you have not really an anabolic window necessarily. It isn't really that narrow. That window is super, super narrow. I know I couldn't do that. I don't know about you guys. I know some of you are like super, super lifters and super, super protein takers. But this one is saying from that 2018 study that our muscles stay sensitive to protein for 24 hours after exercising. So 24 hours after exercising, I'm like, okay, winner, chicken dinner. Like, that is exactly what I want to hear. I can do 24 hours after, so it's the quantity in addition to the timing, which is 24 hours. I'm going to put on my new fake eyelashes. I've been loving these, by the way. I'll make sure that they're listed down below too. And so that to me is super, super helpful. Now, one of the things that it talks about in terms of muscle gain is supplements. I definitely do use protein supplements, like protein shakes, to help me on my journey. I wouldn't hit my protein grams per day. I've tried. I'm like, how much chicken or shrimp or fish or pork or beef can I have? And I can't. Like, I can't. My body, that's why I really do like supplementation for me. But you do you of what makes the best sense for you. So from protein supplementation, the 2 best ones are whey and casein, and I know that that's not helpful for people who are vegetarian or vegan, but in terms of, so vegetarian and vegan sound off in the comments too. I would love to hear from you as well. But in terms of muscle absorption for it, or supporting muscle growth, it has in there found from cow's milk, and some dietary products like eggs, milk, and beans are a good source of protein. There are other vegetarian protein supplements out there too that can help along this, but from this article in which I'm citing, that's what it's talking about. So don't come for me. That's what the article is sharing in terms of different types of supplementation. And with that, building muscles, it isn't just one macronutrient. It isn't just protein, right? It's also having healthy fats and staying hydrated. And one of the biggest things for me has been adding carbs back in. If some of you guys know me back from the day of when, like 8 years ago when I started my YouTube channel, I was known as the Countess of Low Carb, meaning I love low carb. I still do, but I've recognized as I continue to weight train, I have to have carbs in my diet. So I do eat things like rice, quinoa, baked potato, sweet potato, like adding those things in actually has been really helpful for my energy. And with Zepbound weight loss or Tirzepatide weight loss or GLP-1 plus GIP, which is Tirzepatide compound, with that, having to be, there's fatigue with that. My dietitian specifically told me I needed to get over not eating carbs or as many carbs because it was going to help aid in my workouts. And that has been very true for me for lifting and my energy level. My energy level to support growing muscle and building that has been very helpful by eating some carbs. And so water also helps with that muscle recovery too, maintaining that homeostasis. If we get slightly dehydrated, the article goes on to talk about how our systems gets disrupted, and that's going to hinder our gains, our muscle gains, and also the recovery process within muscle gains on there too. And so strength training with that, how can I've somewhat reframed my weighing over 300 pounds, changing, look at that muscle there, changing my life from weighing over 300 pounds to now weight training and wanting to do body recomposition of losing a little bit more fat and gaining a little bit more muscle has reframed how can I best support my muscles? How can I best support my workouts in terms of that? None of this would have happened, by the way, for me without the use of GLP-1s. 100% full stop. That for me has been and will continue to be. I have no intentions of stopping, even though I'm at my basically goal weight and maintenance. But weight training, how am I going to support that? What is the lifestyle changes now? I've made so many. What are the lifestyle changes now that can then help aid me in furthering my progress to gain more muscle? I don't want to be a bodybuilder, and mad props to bodybuilders. I'm not interested in that, but I very much, I'm like aspire to look like a bodybuilder in some capacity. Maybe not even to that necessarily that extreme, but to be able to pick up my suitcase with ease, which I now can do. Thank goodness. It's one of my favorite non-scale victories is picking up my suitcase when I'm on an airplane, putting it in the overhead bin and being like, I got it, because I pack very heavy. What other works in that suitcase? Basically, it's all my makeup and my hair tools. And so lifting and supporting habits need to go along with that too. And that's been very much a shift for me in terms of my protein. So in terms of protein, having it, I do think that from the study, this study that they talked about, to me, that's really, really interesting that your muscles still stay sensitized to protein 24 hours after exercise. And so keeping that in mind, for me, it also talked about before and after. I think it's throughout the day, what am I doing to best support my protein intake, which is high. Getting in 100 to 130 grams of protein, some days I really do struggle. I'm like, like last night I was like, I'm not near my protein goals. I'm still hungry. I'm gonna go have a Greek yogurt. I had a Siggy's non-fat Greek yogurt. And then on top of that, I put a little bit of, I don't wanna have any more fruit. I was like, I'm done with the fruit right now. Usually I would put fruit with it. And a little bit of protein granola on top and a little bit of chia seeds. And that, like, I got full, it was sweet, and I want a little something sweet, even though I'm not really a sweet person, I'm more of like a chip person. That was really helpful for me. And then I hit my protein, like it was helping me hit my protein. But I have to be strategic. For me, making these lifestyle changes, I very much have figured out if I am not strategic with my protein, like what Yo said from my free encouragement group on countessofshopping.com/group, I see why she protein stacks earlier in the day to get it in. And so the Count and I, more so the Count, because the Count makes my protein shakes, but he starts making our protein shakes before lunch. And we used to have them later in the day. It's nice having it before lunch. I find that it is easier to get protein in earlier on in the day. I'm still not super hungry, so I'm typically eating around, I don't know, like 10. Right now it's 11 and I still haven't eaten anything, but I did just have my shot 24 hours ago. So that is also a factor in this. If you're having GLP-1, of how your shot timing then plays out on this. Now, I've said before, and I'll say again and shout from the rooftops, I am not going to force feed on my shot days. I'm not. I paid over $16,000 for this medication, and so having the appetite suppressions from GLP-1 medication, so forcing that protein in, I am not the girl to do that. Maybe that will change for me in the future as we continue to evolve, right? We're going to continue to change our thoughts and our processes. But for me right now, it's still 2 years, 9 months in, does not make sense to force feed myself, including protein. But later on in the week, I can have more. If I didn't eat enough calories or whatever, I will usually have more, but I'm not going to force feed myself to eat, and I'm not going to specifically force feed myself to have protein. But it is important on like lift days to make sure I'm having enough nutrients, because if I don't, I am very tired when I'm lifting, and it makes it harder to hit the higher weights that I want to lift as I'm continuing to try to, like for example, earlier this week I was going for personal records. My intention for lifting was to hit my highest liftings amounts that I had ever done. And I did in like 3 of my different categories, sets, sequences, and I did. And so as somebody who's very much a novice and still learning so much about lifting, it has been really, really awesome to learn these different things and then start applying them, because I don't know everything and I'm still continuing to learn. But it's been really, really cool knowing about how protein can really help aid in this process. And by doing that, how it really does connect the mind, body, and spirit together. And that has been super fascinating for me, specifically with protein, protein grams, and figuring that out. The other caveat that I talk about too is finding proteins I like. Raw chicken, or chicken in general, grosses me out. There's this recipe I really wanted to cook. It was a Weight Watchers soup recipe, and it was with, I guess it's like I guess for Weight Watchers people, it's a 0.1. For me, I'm not on Weight Watchers, so I don't know. But it had chicken, it was a soup, chicken, beans, vegetables, broth. It was like a chicken soup, basically, a chicken vegetable soup. And I was like, I can't have that chicken. The woman cooked the chicken. I was like that just grosses me out. But I was like, how can I modify this? This is a great idea to make it towards my preferences and what I like. And that's my encouragement for you, is take what you want, leave the rest. How can you make this fun for yourself? Because if it's fun, you'll do it longer. If it's enjoyable, you'll eat more of it and you'll be more inclined to do it. So how can I make that recipe applicable for me? For me, I actually really like turkey breast. And I was like, could I get a turkey breast and then cook that and then put it in the soup, chopped up like little cubes of it? Yeah, I could totally do that. That to me sounds great. Could I get an already cooked rotisserie chicken and ask my husband to cut off pieces on it, or ask my husband to cook the chicken and then dump it in the soup? I could. Like, there's other ways I can substitute some of these things in. So if you don't like something in particular, like I don't really like grilled chicken breast, it's gross to me. But some of you love it. So finding what you love within protein, I think, is really, really important, particularly when we're having to hit these I'll use my I statements, because you need to talk to your own healthcare, your own dietitian, your own healthcare provider, and your own dietitian. This is not medical advice, simply my own experience, strength, and hope. To hit those goals, it's got to be something that is sustainable and that I like. I've done that, and you guys have too, right? Like, if you've made it this far in the video, we're probably very similar. For me, I started my first diet in elementary school. I had to eat things I did not like at all. It grossed me out. I don't like cottage cheese even to this day. I have to like hide it under Thousand Island dressing or in like sauces. Or like other accoutrement with it. And so like having just straight cottage cheese, that to me seems so gross. I'm like, ugh. But I know so many of you guys love that. You're like, oh, bring on the cottage cheese. I love it, right? And so finding what you love so you then can support the systems to best support these lifestyle changes. Because if we don't have systems in place, it all goes back to the systems, then we're going to be really pushing way harder than we need to be. And this doesn't have to be hard. We can make it hard. I can pole vault over a mouse chart if I want to, but we don't have to, right? And that's what I want to encourage you of like, okay, so then how can we start making these modifications to fit in with our everyday lifestyle so we can make lifestyle changes? For me, if it's too much, too fast, I'm not going to stick with it. So small, incremental, moving forward changes, 1 foot at a time forward. That is, for me, worked really well. To go from weighing over 300 pounds to now being in basically a healthy weight, lifting weights. My body, like my blood panels are exceptional. It's amazing. What a gift. And I don't intend to squander or waste this gift. I pay too much for it. And I know you guys do too, or even if your insurance covers it. Like, going through this journey has been well worth it, but figuring out what works best for us. And for me, contingent upon a daily routine and daily maintenance of that, which is why I have the free encouragement group, and which is why, if you haven't clicked like and subscribe, I know so many of you watching this video are not subscribed. I have a daily show to best help support you, to help encourage you. It comes back to mindset. And if we're not, like how we take daily showers to wash the filth off from the day, hopefully, I'm your encouragement source to wash the filth off for the day with a little bit of fun and humor, and also a little bit of motivation to push us forward to get to the next level, because we're all at different levels. And obesity is a very wide hoop to jump through with weight loss. There's many, many, many different ways to do it. So you finding out what works for you is exceptional. And so I love you guys so super much. Our emoji of the day is going to be lipstick. And I do emojis of the day to get to know you better because I care. It tells me that you made it this far in the video. If you made it this far in the video, you're probably a bestie. So click that subscribe button too. And make sure you share it with your besties as well. Or if you're in other encouragement groups besides mine, share this video too. Because talking about building muscle on GLP-1s is not talked about enough. It scares me actually how many people don't know this information. Me particular, I wish I had known at the very start of my weight loss journey years ago, because I would have probably changed my habits a long time ago too. So our emoji of the day is going to be a lipstick. It's like my bat signal also to pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, uplift you in positive thought, as all are welcome at the Countess of Shopping table. Unless you're mean, and then you can go, because I don't want to be around mean people at all. And make sure you join our free encouragement group at countessofshopping.com/group. The Count just posted an incredible article today too that you're going to want to read. It was really, really good. So I'll keep that a little teaser for you, you little minx. Okay, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. I'm going to go get this party started and get on the road here. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.